Imagine losing everything in a single day. Wealth, health, children, all gone. Yet still finding the strength to say, "Thank you, Allah." This is the story that would define patience for all of humanity. Among the 25 prophets who stand as pillars of divine guidance, one name echoes through history with unparalleled resonance. The 12th in the sacred order, Prophet Ayyub, peace be upon him, emerges as a figure whose story transcends time itself. Archaeological evidence suggests he lived in an era closely connected to Prophet Yusuf, peace be upon him. Ancient texts reveal a remarkable detail. Ayyub married Rama, believed to be the granddaughter of Prophet Yusuf himself. This union would prove to be one of history's most extraordinary partnerships in faith. Rahma possessed a character that would later shine like a beacon in humanity's darkest hour. Her piety and patience would become legendary, tested in ways that few could comprehend. Together, they would face trials that would break ordinary souls. The timeline places Prophet Ayyub before the great Moses, in an era when his son, Zulkifli, would also receive divine prophethood. Following him came Shu'aib and then Musa, creating a chain of divine messengers that guided humanity through turbulent times. But what set Prophet Ayyub apart was not just his prophetic mission to two ancient tribes. It was the extraordinary blessing that Allah bestowed upon him, gifts so abundant that they defied imagination. Picture a man blessed beyond measure, physical beauty that turned heads wherever he walked, a wife whose beauty matched his own, 12 sons, each more handsome and intelligent than the last, like princes from an ancient tale. Historical accounts describe vast herds of livestock stretching across endless plains, plantations that fed entire communities, wealth so immense that he became the richest man in his entire region. He wasn't merely a prophet, he was a king, leading his people with divine wisdom and earthly power combined. For 20 years, this golden existence continued. Prophet Ayyub used his immense wealth not for selfish purposes, but as a tool for generosity. His life became a symphony of giving, a testament to how divine blessings should be wielded. Yet in the unseen realm, forces were at work that would test the very foundations of faith itself. Historical Islamic scholarship reveals no authentic narration suggesting that Prophet Ayyub committed any transgression warranting divine punishment. Instead, ancient texts point to a cosmic challenge that began in the heavenly realms. Iblis, the eternal deceiver, approached Allah with a proposition that would echo through eternity. "O Allah," the ancient enemy declared, "Ayyub has become righteous only because you have showered him with wealth." The challenge was clear: remove the blessings and watch faith crumble. But Iblis had underestimated something profound. When wealth flowed like rivers around Prophet Ayyub, the devil's whispers fell on deaf ears, temptations to hoard, to refuse charity, to turn away from the needy. All these psychological attacks proved futile. The Quran describes Prophet Ayyub with a single powerful word that defines nearly all prophets: Awwab, one who returns to Allah constantly, who obeys without question regardless of consequences. Whatever Allah commands is done. Whatever Allah forbids is abandoned, no matter the cost. And so Allah, in His infinite wisdom, allowed the test to proceed. not as punishment, but as a demonstration of faith's true nature. The first day of the 21st year arrived like any other dawn, but as the sun reached its zenith, messengers began arriving at Prophet Ayyub's palace, each bearing news more devastating than the last. Your livestock, all dead. The plantations, destroyed by fire and flood. Every investment, every source of income, gone. In a single day, wealth accumulated over 2 decades vanished as if it had never existed. The richest man in the region became penniless before the sun set. But the second day brought news that would shatter any parent's heart. His 12 sons, the pride of his life, had gathered in their favorite meeting place, a grand hall where they often dined together. By Allah's decree, the building collapsed without warning. Not one survived. 12 sons, 12 futures, 12 lineages, extinguished in moments. What would any man do? Rage against fate, question divine justice, demand explanations from heaven. Historical accounts reveal something extraordinary. Prophet Ayyub did none of these things. When the news of his wealth's destruction reached him, he didn't utter a single word of complaint. Instead, ancient narrations describe him immediately falling into prostration, drawing closer to Allah rather than turning away. His response to catastrophe was gratitude, not bitterness. But Iblis wasn't finished. Returning to Allah, the deceiver proposed an even more sinister test. Perhaps he remains faithful because he still has his health, his physical strength, his handsome appearance. And so began the third phase of Prophet Ayyub's trial. The disease that struck Prophet Ayyub defied medical understanding of its time. Islamic scholar Ibn Kathir, analyzing ancient texts, describes it as the first recorded case of what we might recognize today as severe leprosy or chronic skin condition. From head to toe, every inch of his body was affected. The handsome prophet, once the pinnacle of physical beauty, became unrecognizable. Only his tongue remained untouched, the instrument through which he continued to praise Allah. Only his heart continued beating strong, the organ through which his faith flowed undiminished. Medical historians note an interesting phenomenon. Despite appearing contagious, the disease never spread to anyone else. This wasn't about infection, it was about divine testing. But the physical suffering was only part of the ordeal. As news of his condition spread, something predictably human occurred. The crowds that once gathered to seek his wisdom vanished. The wealthy friends who had shared his table disappeared. The community he had served abandoned him in his hour of greatest need. According to Ibn Kathir's historical research, only 3 souls remained loyal to Prophet Ayyub: his wife, Rama, whose love transcended physical appearance, and 2 close companions who refused to abandon their friend despite the risks. But even these relationships would face their ultimate tests. 18 years. For 18 long years, Prophet Ayyub endured what no human should have to bear. Pain racked his body daily. Poverty replaced plenty. Loneliness replaced companionship. Yet throughout this entire ordeal, not once did he complain to Allah. Not once did he question divine wisdom. His patience became so legendary that to this day, when people face hardship, they invoke the patience of Ayyub. But after nearly 2 decades of silent suffering, even Rama reached her breaking point. "O Prophet of Allah," she finally said one day, "why don't you ask Allah to lift this disease?" Prophet Ayyub's response reveals the depth of his character. "How many years did we receive blessings?" he asked. 20 years, Rama replied. "And how long have we been tested?" 18 years. "Then I am still too ashamed to ask Allah for relief," Prophet Ayyub declared. "The blessings and trials are not yet balanced." Rama's love for her husband drove her to extraordinary measures. Unable to bear watching him suffer while eating barely enough to survive, she made a decision that would test their relationship. Historical accounts describe how she sold her own hair, her crown of beauty, to wealthy women who desired its luster. Some narrations suggest she did this twice, sacrificing piece by piece of her physical beauty to buy nutritious food for her ailing husband. She never told him the source of these occasional good meals. For months, perhaps years, she maintained this secret sacrifice. But one day, Prophet Ayyub noticed something extraordinary about their meal. "Where did you find food this luxurious?" he asked, knowing they hadn't eaten well in years. Unable to lie to a prophet, Rama removed her head covering. Her beautiful hair was gone. The sight broke something inside Prophet Ayyub. This noble woman who had stood by him through everything had sacrificed even her beauty for his comfort. In his emotional state, he swore an oath that would haunt him. He would punish her with 100 lashes for this act. Other historical accounts suggest an additional incident. Iblis, disguised as a healer, approached Rama claiming he could cure her husband. Desperate after years of watching suffering, she allowed the false healer to approach Prophet Ayyub. When the prophet discovered this deception, his anger combined with his earlier oath, creating a moral dilemma that seemed impossible to resolve. After 18 years of silent endurance, Prophet Ayyub finally spoke. But even then, his words carried no complaint, no accusation against divine justice. "My Lord," he said, "indeed Satan has touched me with hardship and torment." Note the profound wisdom in these words. He acknowledged Satan as the source of his suffering, not Allah. He made a simple, polite request without demanding explanations or protesting divine will. "You are the most merciful of the merciful," he concluded, still praising Allah even in his darkest hour. This teaches humanity a crucial lesson. Even when we don't express our needs verbally, Allah knows what lies in human hearts. Prophet Ayyub's intention was to be healed, but he approached Allah with utmost respect and submission. And Allah's response was immediate and overwhelming. "Strike the ground with your foot," came the divine command. When Prophet Ayyub obeyed, a spring of cool, pure water erupted from the earth. "This is for bathing and drinking," Allah declared. As the blessed water touched his diseased skin, something miraculous occurred. 18 years of suffering vanished in moments. The leprosy disappeared completely. His handsome features returned, more radiant than before. His strength was fully restored. But Allah's mercy extended far beyond physical healing. The Quran reveals, and we restored his family to him, and doubled their number as mercy from us, and a reminder for those who worship. Prophet Ayyub, who had lost 12 sons, was blessed with children again, and their number was doubled. Some scholars interpret this as receiving 24 new children. Others suggest he was reunited with his original 12, in addition to receiving 12 more. His wealth returned, multiplied beyond its original abundance. His health was restored to perfection. His community, witnessing this miraculous transformation, returned to seek his wisdom and leadership. But one matter remained unresolved: the oath Prophet Ayyub had sworn regarding his wife. Having promised to strike her 100 times, he faced a moral crisis. His anger had cooled, replaced by gratitude for her unwavering loyalty. Yet a promise made to Allah could not be broken. Divine wisdom provided an elegant solution. Take a bundle of thin grass in your hand, Allah instructed, and strike with it once. Do not break your oath. Prophet Ayyub gathered 100 pieces of thin grass, bound them together, and fulfilled his oath with a single gentle tap. The letter of the promise was kept, while its harsh spirit was transformed by divine mercy. This incident teaches believers an important principle. When we make oaths to Allah, we must fulfill them. However, if an oath leads to injustice, Islam provides mechanisms for redemption through expiation, feeding 10 poor people, clothing them, or fasting 3 consecutive days. Allah's final assessment of Prophet Ayyub echoes through eternity. Indeed, we found him patient. Excellent is the servant. Indeed, he was one who repeatedly turned back to Allah. This divine testimony establishes Prophet Ayyub as the ultimate example of human patience. When Allah tests believers, the story of Ayyub provides both comfort and guidance. The profound lesson emerges clearly. Allah's power knows no limits. When divine tests arrive, those who remain patient until the very end receive rewards beyond imagination. But those who complain halfway through their trials limit their own potential for divine blessing. Prophet Ayyub remained patient until Allah determined his test was complete. He embraced the entire process, never fighting against divine wisdom. Therefore, Allah's reward came without limit, immeasurable blessings that exceeded his original prosperity. The Quran connects Prophet Ayyub's story to Surah Sa'ad, verses 41 to 44, reinforcing these lessons. Remember our servant Ayyub when he called to his Lord. Indeed, Satan has touched me with hardship and torment. This verse confirms earlier narrations about Iblis requesting permission to test the Prophet. Satan was indeed the source of the trials, yet they came through divine permission as a test of faith. Strike with your foot. Here is cool water for washing and drinking. The miraculous spring that healed 18 years of suffering appeared instantly, demonstrating Allah's power to reverse any situation in moments. And we restored his family to him, and doubled their number as mercy from us, and a reminder for those of understanding. The restoration exceeded the original blessing, proving that divine rewards surpass human imagination when patience reaches its perfect form. While Surah Al-Anbiya focuses on those who worship, Surah Sa'ad emphasizes those of understanding, highlighting how Prophet Ayyub's story contains lessons for both the devout and the intellectually curious. Modern psychology and medical science offer fascinating perspectives on Prophet Ayyub's ordeal. Chronic illness often leads to depression, social isolation, and spiritual crisis. Yet Prophet Ayyub maintained mental stability and spiritual strength throughout 18 years of physical and emotional torture. Grief counselors recognize that losing multiple children simultaneously represents one of humanity's most devastating experiences. The sudden death of 12 children would typically destroy parental mental health permanently. Yet Prophet Ayyub not only survived this trauma, but continued functioning as a spiritual leader. Financial ruin often triggers suicide, depression, or complete life breakdown. Losing immense wealth overnight challenges personal identity, social status, and future security. Yet, Prophet Ayyub transitioned from riches to poverty without losing his sense of purpose or divine connection. Social abandonment compounds all other forms of suffering. When communities reject individuals during their darkest hours, the psychological damage often proves irreparable. Yet Prophet Ayyub maintained hope and continued serving others despite widespread rejection. From a purely human perspective, Prophet Ayyub's resilience defies explanation. His story suggests that spiritual strength can overcome any combination of physical, emotional, financial, and social catastrophes when anchored in unshakable faith. Archaeological discoveries continue revealing details about the ancient Middle Eastern world where Prophet Ayyub lived. The region's economic systems depended heavily on livestock and agriculture, exactly the sources of wealth the prophet possessed and lost. Historical records show that leprosy and similar skin diseases carried enormous social stigma in ancient times. Medical knowledge was limited, fear of contagion was widespread, and sufferers faced complete ostracism. Prophet Ayyub's social isolation reflects historical realities of disease-based discrimination. The practice of hair trading mentioned in Islamic sources aligns with archaeological evidence of ancient beauty commerce. Human hair held significant value for wigs, ceremonial purposes, and textile production. Rahma's sacrifice represents both economic necessity and personal devotion. Ancient judicial systems often required public punishment for oath breaking, but also provided creative alternatives to prevent injustice. The divine solution to Prophet Ayyub's dilemma reflects sophisticated legal thinking that balances promise-keeping with compassionate implementation. The story of Prophet Ayyub remains relevant across cultures and centuries because it addresses universal human experiences.